Far beyond the stars, in the dark silence of space, a fleet of alien ships moved swiftly toward the small blue planet called Earth. The ships were massive, shining with strange lights, and their engines hummed a sound no human had ever heard. Inside the lead ship, the alien admiral watched the planet through a glowing screen. He tilted his head, a hint of a smirk on his pale face, and said, "Earth? Just a tiny dot in this galaxy. Do humans even exist, or are they just a story?" The admiral's crew laughed softly, their voices echoing in the metal corridors of the ship. They had heard legends about Earth, a planet filled with curious creatures, but none of them had taken humans seriously. "Look at it," said one young officer, pointing at the screen. "Cities, forests, oceans, nothing dangerous, nothing worth our attention." The admiral nodded slowly, his long fingers tapping on the control panel. "Exactly, this planet is a prototype, a joke. We will find no real threat here, just myths." As the fleet approached, Earth's atmosphere shimmered like a tiny pearl, surrounded by clouds and blue seas. From space, the planet looked peaceful, quiet, almost fragile. The aliens had expected chaos, fire, and war, but all they saw were clouds drifting and small lights flickering in the dark. It seemed so calm, so simple, and this only made the admiral laugh more. Such a small world, and yet they claim to have humans. "Stories say they are clever, brave, strong, but I see nothing," he said, shaking his head. "Prepare the observation drones. Let us see if these humans are real, or just a legend told to amuse the galaxy." The drones left the ship, moving like tiny sparks of light, entering Earth's atmosphere. They scanned the cities, the forests, and the oceans, recording every detail. To the aliens, humans were invisible, or maybe they were hiding very well. "Nothing," said the admiral, "just tiny creatures moving without purpose. This planet is nothing more than a playground for us." Meanwhile, on Earth, no one noticed the fleet above. People went about their daily lives, walking, talking, laughing, working, and dreaming. The oceans continued to crash on the shores, birds flew in the sky, and cities shone with lights. All of it seemed ordinary, but in the eyes of the aliens, it was strange and weak. They could not imagine that this quiet, small planet was home to creatures with unimaginable courage. They could not see the fire that burned in human hearts, the will to survive, the strength to fight against the impossible. The admiral leaned back in his chair, confident and amused. He waved his hand over the map of the galaxy displayed before him. "Soon we will strike, and the humans will vanish like shadows in the night. They are nothing, just myths. Nothing can stop us," he said. But deep inside, the humans of Earth were already preparing in ways the aliens could not understand. And though the admiral did not know it yet, the planet he laughed at would soon show him that legends are often real. Above the clouds, the fleet waited, silent and imposing. The aliens were ready, proud, and certain of their victory. But on the ground, the humans continued to live, unaware of the eyes watching them from the stars. And in the quiet moments before the storm, the stage was set for a battle no one could predict. Earth seemed small, weak, and unimportant, but soon everything would change. The arrival was just the beginning, and the legend of humanity was about to be revealed. The drones returned to the alien fleet, carrying images of Earth cities, forests, and oceans. The alien admiral studied the data, frowning slightly, though his face still held a hint of amusement. "See? Nothing alive enough to challenge us, nothing worth our time," he said, pointing at the tiny lights of human cities. The young officer beside him nodded, but there was a small unease in his eyes. "Sir, they do seem organized," he said quietly. "These humans move in groups, they build, they plan. Could there be something we are missing?" The admiral laughed softly, a sound like ice cracking. "Do not be ridiculous. Planning? Organization? It is nothing but instinct, nothing special. Humans are stories, myths, creatures of imagination. We will see soon enough that they are weak, and their cleverness is only a shadow," he said, tapping his fingers on the table. Yet, despite his confidence, a tiny part of him felt curiosity, a spark he had not felt in centuries. He ordered more scans, more data, more images of every city, every forest, every ocean. The aliens wanted to see if humans had hidden weapons, strange powers, or anything unusual. But all the scans revealed were simple machines, small structures, and people moving about. Nothing dangerous, nothing worth a second thought. On Earth, life continued as usual, unaware of the eyes studying them from the sky. Children played in parks, farmers tended their fields, and workers went to their offices. Even the smallest actions seemed ordinary, but to the aliens, some movements were strange. A flock of birds suddenly changed direction in perfect formation. A wave of light flickered across a distant city at night, too fast for ordinary technology. The Admiral noticed these details but dismissed them. Tricks of nature, he said, or perhaps coincidences, nothing more. Still, the Admiral's curiosity grew. He asked the drones to follow humans, to watch how they lived. He wanted proof that they were weak, that they were just myths. The drones hovered over streets, parks, and buildings, recording every moment. They saw humans helping each other, saving animals, working together in small teams. At first, it seemed normal, but the aliens could not understand the strength in these simple acts. Humans were small and fragile, yet they showed courage, intelligence, and will. The Admiral frowned again, a small crack in his confidence. Curious, he muttered. They survive, they adapt, but it is only instinct. They are nothing more than stories. The alien fleet continued to orbit the planet, waiting for the final assessment. Plans were made for an easy invasion, maps drawn, strategies calculated. The Admiral believed victory was certain, but a quiet unease lingered. There were patterns, movements, and strange signals humans did not realize. Signals of intelligence, of strategy, of survival against impossible odds. The Admiral ignored them, unwilling to admit even the smallest chance that humans were more than myths. Yet, somewhere deep in the back of his mind, a question formed. Could these creatures, these humans, be stronger than the stories said? He pushed the thought aside, focusing on his plans. But the seeds of doubt had been planted, a small spark of worry that would grow in the coming battle. Above the forests, oceans, and cities, the alien ships waited. The Admiral studied the blue planet, confident yet strangely alert. The humans seemed ordinary, fragile, and tiny. But the quiet, subtle signs of life, of intelligence, of courage, made the aliens pause. The Admiral turned to his crew. Prepare for the invasion. We will show these humans that myths cannot fight reality, he said. But deep down, a single thought lingered, unspoken and unwelcome. What if the myths were true? What if humans were stronger than they appeared? The assessment was over, but the story of humanity was just beginning. Earth, small and unassuming, hid a secret the aliens could not yet understand. And soon, the battle between myth and reality would begin. The stage was set, the players ready, and the legend of humans was about to be tested. The alien fleet hovered above Earth, casting dark shadows over oceans, forests, and cities. The alien Admiral stood on the bridge of the lead ship, confident and proud. Humans? They are nothing, he said, turning to his officers. They are stories, myths, creatures who cannot even imagine what is coming. We will crush them before they know what hit them. His officers nodded eagerly, reporting their findings. All scans show weak structures, slow movements, and small creatures with no power, said one. Nothing to worry about, Admiral, added another. The humans cannot resist us. The Admiral smiled, his long fingers tracing the glowing map of Earth. They are predictable, fragile, and tiny, he said. By the time we strike, they will be gone, erased like dust in the wind. But as they prepared their invasion plans, small doubts crept into the Admiral's mind. The humans seemed ordinary, yet there were patterns he could not explain. Lights flickered strangely in the night. Small groups moved with unusual coordination. Sometimes, even the animals seemed to follow rules the aliens could not understand. He shook his head, forcing the thoughts away. They are myths, he repeated to himself. Nothing more than myths. Meanwhile, on Earth, life went on without fear. Humans worked, played, and dreamed, unaware of the ships above. In the cities, lights flickered, machines hummed, and people moved in perfect rhythm. No one noticed the eyes watching them. Yet, the humans were ready in ways the aliens could not see. Simple signs of courage, intelligence, and resourcefulness filled the planet. Every act of survival, every clever decision, made the humans stronger than the aliens imagined. The Admiral prepared his speech for the fleet, full of pride. "Tomorrow, we strike," he said, "and humans will vanish. They will learn that myths cannot fight reality. We will show them the true power of the galaxy." He did not notice the faint spark of strategy forming in the humans below. He did not see the courage hidden in the smallest actions. To him, Earth was a toy, a simple test, a victory already won. The aliens began their final preparations, ships moving into attack positions. Weapons loaded, shields charged, signals sent to every vessel in the fleet. They were confident, almost arrogant, thinking the humans could do nothing. "Observe closely," said the Admiral, "and you will see how weak they are. Nothing alive on this planet can stop us." Yet, the humans continued quietly, acting in ways that the aliens did not understand. Small teams planned, small devices were built, and small acts of courage spread across cities and forests. The Admiral could not see them, yet they were the seeds of resistance. As the hours passed, the Admiral watched Earth with amusement. "They will panic, they will flee, and they will die without hope," he said. But strange occurrences kept appearing on the scans, small, almost invisible movements. Lights turned on in patterns, animals reacted strangely, and humans seemed to move in ways too clever to be random. He dismissed it all, shaking his head. "Insignificant," he said. Yet deep down, he felt a tiny flicker of unease, a spark that refused to be ignored. The stage was almost set, the fleet ready for the attack. The Admiral underestimated the humans completely, confident in his victory. But underestimation is dangerous, especially when facing a species unknown and unpredictable. The humans of Earth were small, fragile, and hidden, yet they were stronger than the Admiral imagined. And soon, the first clash would reveal the truth. The myths were not false, and the Admiral would learn that humanity is never as weak as it seems. The silence of Earth was broken when the first alien ships entered the atmosphere. Massive vessels glided above the cities, their engines glowing like stars falling from the sky. People below looked up in shock and fear, unsure of what they were seeing. Lights flashed across the clouds as the fleet spread, casting shadows over forests, oceans, and mountains. The alien Admiral watched from his command ship, confident and proud. "Begin the attack," he ordered, his voice calm and cold. "They will learn that myths cannot fight reality." The aliens unleashed their weapons, beams of energy cutting through the sky. Buildings shook, forests burned, and oceans glimmered under the strange lights. To the humans, it seemed like the end. But the humans did not panic. Small groups of soldiers, scientists, and ordinary people moved with courage and precision. They used the land, the forests, and the cities to their advantage. They had prepared, in ways the aliens could not imagine. The first strikes hit empty fields, open oceans, and deserts. The aliens believed they had destroyed human defenses. But humans were hidden, clever, and fast. They had set traps, used natural terrain, and created small, unexpected strategies. One small town lured alien drones into a canyon where they were trapped and disabled. Another group sent decoy signals, confusing the fleet's navigation. The aliens were shocked, their calculations failing against simple human ingenuity. The Admiral's eyes narrowed, disbelief growing. "How?" he muttered, scanning the reports. "These creatures should be weak. They should fall easily. Yet every plan we make, they adapt, they survive, they resist." Panic began to ripple through the crew, though no one admitted it. The humans, tiny and fragile as they seemed, were proving that myths could fight. They were unpredictable, cunning, and brave. In the cities, people coordinated quietly. Lights flickered in patterns, guiding each other to safety. Children were evacuated, hospitals protected, and civilians hid in underground shelters. Every action was careful and precise. Humans were small, but their courage shone like a fire in the darkness. Even the animals seemed to sense the danger, moving strategically as if guided by instinct. The aliens could not understand it, their arrogance blinding them. The Admiral slammed his fist on the table, frustration and disbelief flashing in his eyes. "Impossible. They are supposed to be myths. "They are supposed to be weak," he roared. But the humans continued to fight, quietly and cleverly. Each small victory was unseen by the fleet, yet it shifted the battle slowly. The tide was not turning yet, but the first cracks had appeared. The humans were proving that size and power are not always the measure of strength. As night fell, Earth glowed with scattered fires, flickering lights, and signs of resistance. The alien fleet hovered above, confused and cautious. The admiral realized, for the first time, that his underestimation might cost them dearly. Humans were not stories, not myths, but living, breathing, clever creatures. The first strike had failed to break them, and the legend of humanity was growing stronger with every passing moment. Above the chaos, the admiral's voice echoed through the fleet. "Prepare for Phase 2. We must crush them completely," he said. But a small, unspoken fear lingered in his mind. For the humans of Earth were not defeated. They had survived the impossible. And the battle had only just begun. The night sky over Earth was filled with flashes of light, explosions, and strange shadows. The alien fleet hovered above, tense and cautious. The admiral's face was pale, his eyes wide with disbelief. "Impossible," he whispered. "These creatures, they should be weak. They should fall, yet they fight, they resist, they survive." On the ground, humans moved with courage and intelligence. Small teams guided each other through the chaos. Children and elders were protected, cities organized for defense. Even the smallest actions mattered, each one a clever strike against the invaders. Humans were not just surviving, they were fighting with strategy. The forests, mountains, and rivers became allies. Every element of Earth worked with them as if the planet itself defended its people. The admiral watched, stunned, as his calculations failed repeatedly. Every attack, every plan, met unexpected resistance. "Adaptation, intelligence, courage," he muttered, almost afraid to admit it. "They are not myths. They are real. They are stronger than anything we imagined." For the first time in his long life, the admiral felt fear. He had underestimated humans completely. And now he realized that myths, legends, and stories often hold more truth than arrogance allows. Above the mountains, a small team of humans disabled one of the alien command ships. Using nothing but clever tricks, signals, and makeshift devices. The fleet hesitated, their movements cautious for the first time. The humans below were tiny, fragile, and seemingly ordinary. Yet their courage and intelligence were shaking the confidence of the most powerful beings in the galaxy. Every strike, every clever move, proved that humanity was not just a myth. It was a force the aliens could not predict. The admiral turned to his officers, his voice trembling. They fight like legends. I see now, the stories were right." He realized that Earth's small, ordinary people were extraordinary. Their strength was not in weapons or ships. It was in heart, courage, and the will to survive against impossible odds. The humans were living proof that being underestimated can be the greatest advantage. On the streets, forests, and oceans of Earth, humans continued their silent resistance. Ordinary people became heroes in every small act of bravery. They protected, they defended, they fought with intelligence and unity. The admiral's pride turned to awe. For the first time, he admitted that myths could be true. That humanity was not weak. That Earth, the planet he had laughed at, held creatures of unimaginable strength. The alien fleet began to retreat slowly, confusion and fear replacing their arrogance. The admiral stared at the blue planet below, humbled and astonished. They survived. They are real. And they are extraordinary, he whispered. The humans of Earth had not only survived the first strike. They had proven the legend of humanity true. Small, fragile, underestimated, and yet mighty. The HFY moment was complete, the myth made real. As dawn broke over the horizon, Earth glowed with the light of resilience. Humans walked among the ruins, tired but victorious. The alien fleet disappeared into the stars, silent and humbled. The admiral would never forget the tiny planet he had mocked, and the humans who had turned myths into reality. Earth was no longer a joke. Humanity was no longer a story. And the legend of humans had begun.